We live? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Can you guys hear me? All right, cool. All right, so how's everyone doing? How's everyone excited for this? All right, so just to kind of like give a like a thing about what we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to be doing basically multiple choice questions for AP World. I'll be going over tips and tricks and how to do stuff like that. So yeah, let me just pull up the presentation here. There we go. Yeah, Avi, you'll be able to watch a replay at the end of this. So, yeah. All right. So first off, that's just my social information stuff. If you ever want to get in touch or, do stuff like that, those are my things. So the format of the multiple choice questions, it is the first part of the world history exam. And it is 55 questions in 55 minutes, which, while it sounds like you get no time for a question, it really is a lot of time when you think about it. So each question, it comes with a... Alan, we're just kind of checking through. All right, so each question will always come with a stimulus, which is going to be like a text or a picture, a map, a painting, can be some other things. The questions will always go in chronological order. So question 1 will be on period 1 and a couple other questions, and then it goes period 2, period 3, so on and so forth. And you'll see that when we go through the examples later. And it is 40% of your AP score. So Robin Hood, I took the exam this past July. So I took the last exam that they had. And it's 40% of your AP score, which is the highest of any one of the 4 sections of the exam. So it's technically the most important, though it's all up to your strengths. If you're better at multiple choice questions than you are the DBQ, then you should practice the DBQ more so, just, All right. Something about scoring with the multiple choice questions. You'll earn 1 point for every correctly answered question, obviously. But there's the format of the exam. It goes multiple choice questions, short answer questions, the DBQ, and the LEQ. So there's all 4. But there's a small break in between part 1 and part 2. So you'll earn 1 point for every question answered correctly, and you won't be penalized for any incorrect answers. So you should give an answer for everything. Never leave anything blank for this test. If you even just guess, if you try to narrow it down and then guess what you can, that'd be my best advice, because by leaving something blank, you are shooting yourself in the foot, giving yourself 0% chance of getting it right. Whereas if you guess, you at least have, if you guess wrong, you just don't get a point. Like you get 0 points. So you're not penalized for any incorrect answers. Yeah. So like, let's say there were 5 questions. I got 2 right and 3 wrong. Kara, I'll share the link with everyone after the stream. Basically, yeah, give an answer for everything. Never, even if it just comes down to a guess of all 4 answers and you have no idea, you at least have somewhat of a chance of getting it right. For a 5, there's no set limit, but it really, there's kind of to get a 5, I believe it's like a 75 on the exam. A 3, you want to get around half the points on the exam. So yeah, but it's not a set number. What happens if you guess wrong, but you just don't like that? It's going to happen. I know no one who's able to get 55 multiple choice questions straight through correct. All right, let me just check out some of these questions. Is the multiple choice portion harder? Or Fiona, it'll be around an hour long, I'm guessing. And Sammy, I plan to go live every month, but if y'all want me to come on more often, I'm happy to do so. Is the multiple choice portion harder or easier than you thought it would be? For me, it was I had done so much practice throughout the year that it wasn't an issue, but it was definitely a little bit more difficult for me, more because, first of all, I was bad at multiple choice out of all the 4 parts. And it just some of the questions were weirder. There were a few questions that were of different format and stuff. So yeah. This one will be free, and any skill-related videos will be free. I'm not the one who decides what will be free. If I could, I'd decide they all be free, but yeah. How can you tell if one's the correct answer? I'll be going over that. Guys, when you, just heads up, if you're going to ask a question, put it in the ask a question box so I can just go through that and answer those, so I don't have to really look at the chat all that much. I'll still look at it sometimes, but all the questions should be relegated there. All right. So here's where some of your questions are going to. Oh, you're all good. It's fine. No worries. So yeah, exactly. College Board is God. They're never wrong. So for the multiple choice, there are a lot of little, it's probably 30% knowledge, 40% knowledge, and 60% knowing how to do the questions and knowing how to really read the text and stuff. And that's what we're really going to go over tonight, besides just, A, B, C, D, whatever. So here we go. Whoops, there we go. So the first one, I think we all know what this is. It's process of elimination. It's pretty much used on any multiple choice test. It's a general strategy, and it gets rid of any blatantly wrong answers. So it helps you narrow down your choices to 2 or sometimes even 1 answer, and it gets rid of distractors. So distractors are essentially answers where someone might think they're correct, but there's something just off about them enough to make them wrong. So you got to learn how to look for these, and I definitely have fallen for them. They're easy to fall for. All right, let's take a look at some of these questions. Rebecca, don't be sad. It's December, so if you're still not great at these, you still have a lot of time to practice on them. Would you say that you get better at multiple choice with practice or over time? I'd say both. I say if you do 500 multiple choice questions the night before the exam, or 10 multiple choice questions every day leading up to the exam, I'd say 10 multiple choice questions, because it's a little bit for a long time. If you just cram it all in and do a bunch of practice right before the exam, it's not going to be effective. You want to slowly build up your skills since September and learn how to read the text, how to use historical context, how to use all of these things that you've been learning in order to answer the multiple choice questions. All right. Oops. All right. When will you be doing more streams? I do them every week if Amanda, the person who usually does them, lets me. Typically, these skill ones will be once a month. So this month is multiple choice, then January is short answer, and then DBQ and LEQ. And I'm still kind of thinking about stuff like that. All right. What do you mean by no penalization? Yeah, I would make it full screen, Drew, but then I wouldn't be able to watch the chat. So what do you mean by no penalization? It means that if I got, let's say, 1 right and 1 wrong, it wouldn't mean that I'd lose a point for that 1 wrong. It would just mean it's like they just threw it out of the test. You only gain points on this exam. All right. And all the rest of these questions, I'll go through them separately when we start going through the strategies. So that's process of elimination. Budgeting your time. This is definitely a really important skill to have on the exam, because unless you are a special case, you don't get infinite time. You're given, if you just divide, it's 1 minute per question on average. So it's actually a lot of time. Like how many of you guys are scared about the time limit that you're given for the multiple choice? Just, just drop in the chat. Okay. Yeah. See? All right. Everyone is, not Andrew, weird flex, but okay. So yeah, it's a lot of time. And something I really recommend you to do to just assuage the fear is to, seriously, and this is going to sound like a joke, start a timer for a minute and just sit there, just in silence for a minute. And it will feel like a long time. It is enough to answer 1 multiple choice question. Be sure not to stick around a question for a really long time. If you need to spend, a few extra seconds on a question, don't kill yourself over it. But if you're really stuck on a question and you've been spending the last 5 minutes on it, you might want to put down your best guess and then go to the next question and maybe circle it on what I did was I would have the Scantron, and for the ones that I didn't really have much confidence in, I just circled them on the Scantron, like the little number. The problem is that reading the stimulus and understanding the stimulus takes a few minutes. That's true. We'll be going over that tonight and how to do that. So speaking of reading the passages, read them carefully but not monotonously. So don't look into every little detail, every little nook and cranny into the document and think into it super deeply. You want to read it, read the source information, read everything in the document, understand it, but don't worry if you don't understand what this one word means, or don't understand if you don't understand the intricacies of the Islamic empires to the point where you can say date-wise. Like, it's not the most important thing. All right. Examining the stimulus. This is where I saw. So how many people, their worst part of the multiple choice is the stimulus, the painting, the, the text. All right, that's the best part. I see a lot of people saying it's the, okay, good. That's what we're going to go over tonight. So, buckle up. So the passages, that's what we're going to be going over first. The passages are probably usually going to be around a paragraph long. Sometimes you'll get poems or stuff like that, but it's never too long. It's usually manageable. Read the source info. I see a lot of people screw that up. Read the date and the author, because that can really influence your decision, because the sourcing is incredibly important to establishing, proper context to help your answer. So if you get a question on the Middle Ages and you see an answer that says the rise of the Roman Empire, would that be the right answer? Yes or no? All right, so let's look at some of these questions. What period would you say we needed to study from the most? I'd say, I'm going to say period 1, study the least. It's 5% of the exam. I'd say it's 1 or 2 multiple choice questions, maybe a short answer question. It's kind of equal for the rest of them. Don't go crazy on any period, but study what you're bad at. If you are great at period 6, but suck at period 3 and 4, study periods 3 and 4. That's what I recommend. All right. Who's your AP World teacher? For her sake, I'm not going to say her name or anything, but she was a good teacher, great teacher. All right. What chapters do we mainly study? Yes, Zach, I am going to offer tips for studying and stuff. Just drop your questions and I'll get to them throughout the stream. No, you're good. To mainly study, chapter-wise, I don't know what book you're using, so I can't say. But, study everything. There's never going to be one thing that's overwhelming on the exam, so just have a good grasp on everything. I actually forget what book I used, but yeah. All right, I'll get back to these later after we go through some examples. All right, maps and photos. If you don't have a book, I recommend buying a review book. And I say AMSCO is a good book. It's definitely good. I know I have my right here, my trustworthy, Princeton Review 2017. This thing got me through, hard times. But I'd say get a review book and be sure to use it if you want, or just use your own resources. If you're good at reading, then buy a review book. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Maps and photos. So sometimes you will get a map or a painting or a photo, something like that, as your stimulus. These, for me especially, besides maps, they tended to be some of the hardest ones because with writing, it's directly in front of you, where with a painting or a photo, you have to kind of, interpret. So examine it carefully and note things about it that are important. So note, oh, this person's bowing down. Oh, they, paint this because of this, But also try your best not to extrapolate things that aren't true. Don't think just because there's a rose bush in the background of a small painting, that doesn't mean something grand and huge. They're not going to ask about something tiny. They're going to ask about the source specifically and the meat of it. So yeah, let's get back to these. How should we practice for multiple choice? Do questions. Just do questions. That's all I can really say. Just do question after question after question. Albert.io is good. You have to pay for it. But yeah, just do practice. If you can't find any, if your teacher doesn't use them, there's review books. There are just tons of different things. And yeah, everyone join the AP Discord. When you've narrowed down the answer choices down to 2, how do you decide which one is right? That's a really good question. And I would say it really depends on the question, and we'll definitely look at some of those today when we're doing our practice. It depends on the question and the answer. So, it can be difficult, and that's really where I got stumped with a lot of the questions. So, yeah. All right. There we go. I'll go over all these questions at the end, so don't worry if your question isn't answered right this second. Just stick around. All right. So, reading and answering the question. This is the meat of what you're going to be doing. Most of it is going to be answering questions. So, first of all, read the question carefully. I think most of us are probably familiar with the fact that you have to read a multiple choice question carefully. And the College Board, they love to use words like not, except, best, things that like qualifiers that will change the answer. So has anyone ever gotten, in the chat drop, if you've ever gotten caught by one of these, oh, it says not and this, or it says except. Yeah. See, I know, Zach, you said, yeah, it's definitely something that caught me a couple times. You got to look out for those. And you got to understand what the question is asking specifically. So you got to make sure you don't get tripped up on the question. You don't get tripped up on what's being said, et cetera, et cetera. And also, don't worry if you don't know every question. I see a lot of people, drop in the chat, because I know we're all try-hard AP kids. Like for you, average, what would be a good test grade for you out of 100%? Just, let me know. Drop it in the chat. 90, 90, 95, 100, B plus, 95. See, I see, that's kind of same with me. High grades, so we can flex on all our classmates. So, okay, a 70. For a 3, you want to get a 50 on the multiple choice. A 50. Don't worry if you, not exactly, but roughly half the points for a 3. So, don't worry if you don't know a question. Don't think, oh my God, I don't know number 7. Oh God, I'm going to fail the exam. Like, what if a 3 isn't good enough? You can play around here. I'll drop at the end of the stream, if you remind me, I will drop a link to a score calculator. You can play with that. It's actually a little bit of fun. So, and also read every answer choice. Even if you think that B is automatically the answer, just read all the answer choices. It's important to do so, because there could be a better answer for D, for example. So yeah. So now we're going to spend the last 45 minutes or so just going through and chugging through questions. Skip and answer the question. And then skip. I don't really understand what you're asking, Alexis. Sorry. So let me just first chug through these questions. Thanks, Robin Hood. Before we get started with the examples, because then we can just go through those. All right. So my AP World teacher said to start with the graph image questions and do the longer passages later. Do you agree with this? I disagree, actually. I'd say go in order, because they're in chronological order. It's almost like you're moving through history with the questions. And the graphs and images, depending on the questions, they can be easy, man. We'll see a couple maps and images in our examples today, and they're not bad. When you really look at it, it's quick. I'd say don't prioritize graphs and images over passages. Just do them in order. All right. Will we have a choice for the LEQ? Yeah, you will. We'll be doing an LEQ stream in probably 2 months. You'll have 3 LEQ choices, period 1 to 2, 3 to 4, and then 5 to 6. So you do get a choice in that one. Marcus, where can we get practice questions from? Review books are definitely great. There's your teacher probably has tests. The College Board, we're about to go over their practice test right now. And there are tons of other places where you can find them. I would not recommend Khan Academy, Kevin. It's okay maybe for content, but definitely not skills. Yeah, no. All right. Is this all simply memorization, or does it incorporate anything else? Is the only way to score high to memorize everything? No. It's the opposite, actually. You do not need a single date for this exam. You will never be asked when something happened. JC, Jackie, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Probably another hour, though. If you guys want, I can go for as long as y'all want. Honestly, understand the content more than memorize it. Understanding it will give you an intuitive connection, so you don't have to think, oh my God, what was this? What was this? You'll know, oh, this led to this, led to this, led to this. Oh, naturally that. So, yeah, look for trends. This is a class about big picture ideas and trends, not in 1492 is important, but in 1072, King blah, blah, blah died in, no, it's not the minute details. What strategy is best to study the vocab? It's what you like to do, honestly. I can't be the definitive resource, because all those are good. Flashcards work great for some people. Quizlets are better for some. It really depends on the person. I'd say whatever gets you to learn the information. All right. Whew, there's a lot of questions coming in. Okay. Where can we find good multiple choice questions? As I said, excuse me, the College Board has a practice test. I think there's probably released multiple choice out somewhere. I'd have to go digging, but yeah. You said to read it carefully. Would annotating be helpful or waste time? I'd say don't write notes, but maybe underline important things and stuff like that. All right. What's the hardest part of the test for me? It was the multiple choice, easily. I was okay at it, but it definitely was my weak point. Nearing the end of our second semester, would you say we're okay positioned if we're just now touching on the Han Dynasty? I'd say you're pretty behind. I'd say most of us, actually, I forgot to ask, tell me like what period you're on. Chapter I can't look up, but tell me, what did you cover this week in class? 4, Crusades. Yeah, period 2 is a little, yep, okay. See a lot of period 3, so you guys are going to love this stream. But European transition. Okay. If you're in period 3, period 4, you're in a perfect place. Period 2, you might want to start moving a little faster. It's definitely, you're probably a little behind. Fiona, I don't know what you're doing. French, Jesus Christ. That's way ahead. Nice. All right. Period 5, we're probably not going to get there tonight, but yeah. What would you suggest as a great study guide, such as the website, video, PowerPoint, etc.? What's good for you? I keep stressing that I sound like a broken record probably at this point, but do what you like to do. If you're better at watching videos, watch videos, watch Crash Course, Mr. Lassiter, Fiveable, selfless plug. But if reading a review book works better for you, then read a review book. I know if you see under the stream, there's a little green button that says AP World Ultimate Resource Pack. That's something that I put together around a month ago for students just like you guys, and it's filled with guides and stuff like that just for you guys. So I like it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. How much time should you dedicate to one question? I'd say, maybe a minute and a half. To actually answering the question, probably, a minute. All right, I'll hit the rest of these at the end because I want to get to our practice. So you can pull up, I'll drop this link in the chat real quick, but also you can just follow along on my stream. So there's the link. It is just a link to the practice test from the College Board. And so we'll be going through 22 at least multiple choice questions. So let me just pull that up. And just give me a sec because I have to share my screen again. Chrome tab. There we go. So here is the practice exam. I have the answers right here. So, So we're just going to start chugging through. So does anyone have any last minute things just to say before we start going through the multiple choice in the chat? How old am I? I'm a sophomore. I'm 15. I took AP World as a freshman. Death is upon us. Indeed. It gets better. Thanks. All right. So let's get chopping. So multiple choice questions. Here we go. So how this is going to work is I will read the passage and then I'll go through the answers, and then I will ask you guys in the chat to basically say, A, B, C, D, and I'll be able to judge what you guys are doing. So would you rather me give you a minute or so to read it, or do you want, story time? Story time? Okay, perfect. All right. So I have the text up here, or you can pull it up at your thing. It's going to take us a little while to do one question because I'm sorry about that. I'd recommend pulling up the document. I'll drop the link again. Definitely have it open in the background at least. So there is it. Let me see. There we go. How does that look? There we go. Perfect. Ooh, yes. Mickey made it. Hell yeah. All right. Some story time, others timed. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. So this is an excerpt from a treaty between an Assyrian king and the ruler of a subject city-state in northwestern Iran, circa 670 BCE. So let's read it. And if you, my vassal, disobey or break this treaty, may the god Adad, the canal inspector of heaven and earth, put an end to all vegetation in your land. May his waters hit your land with a severe destructive downpour. May locusts devour your crops. May there be no sound of grinding stone in your houses. May the wild animals eat your bread, and may your spirit have no one to take care of it and pour offerings of wine for it. So, real quick, just what can we take out of that document at first, at first glance? Just a few little things that we noticed. The treaty is gruesome, so some dude is being rude. Okay, that's some good thoughts. Good thoughts. So, the particular consequences invoked in the ritual curse in the treaty most strongly support which of the following statements about ancient Mesopotamia? A, states' legitimacy were based on claims to secular authority. B, ongoing environmental degradation occurred as a byproduct of the spread of pastoralism. C, maintaining and expanding agricultural production was seen as a core task of governments, or D, the domestication of plants occurred before the domestication of animals. So drop your answer in the chat and I will, I'll explain it. So, okay, I see we're kind of all over the place on this one. I'm seeing we're kind of majority C. Okay, C, okay. So the answer to this one is C. It is C. Maintaining and expanding agricultural production was seen as a core task of governments. So I saw near the beginning some of you were saying A and B. So let's go through these answers and see why they're wrong. So A, state's legitimacy was based on claims to secular authority. This is just false. You can see directly. Secular, in case you didn't know it, this is definitely a term you want to know for the exam. It means non-religious. So if you look at the passage, you can see things like they mention the god Adad, the canal inspector, putting an end to vegetation. You can see locusts devouring crops. You can see that it's religious. Yeah, it's non-religious. Yeah. So that's just, it's okay. That's just one of those vocabulary things. And now, ongoing environmental degradation occurred as a byproduct of the spread of pastoralism. This one I can see maybe why you say it. You talk about, locusts devouring crops and wild animals, stuff about the environment dying. The thing is, they never talk about pastoralism. They don't mention why it's happening or it's pastoralism. So C is the best answer. D is just they don't mention animals or plants domesticated. So yeah. So how did that feel? Did that feel yes, no, easy, hard? Yes, perfect. Okay, cool. No, it's fine. This is question 1. All right. We're definitely going to be kind of going a little slowly through these. So, all right. Here are 2 and 3. So, a historian would most likely use this passage in the treaty to illustrate which of the following. So, A, the precarious nature of early civilization's relationship to their physical environment. B, the negative effect of overpopulation on urban sanitation and health. C, the emergence of social hierarchies supported by the unequal distribution of surplus food. Or D, the nutritional deficiencies suffered by early agricultural populations. So say your best guesses, leave your answers in the comments below. All right, I'm seeing A and B were between. Will I be missing major information? No, go eat dinner, man. You're fine. There's what we're going to be H. Aiden got it. It's H. So A, yep, H. H is the answer, everyone. Just gonna, it's H. Okay, so A is the correct answer. So, good work. So let's look at why B. I saw most of you said B if you didn't say A. So B, the negative effect of overpopulation on urban sanitation and health. So let's look back at the passage. And by the time you get where you're actually doing these on your own, you're going to be doing these at a much, quicker pace. I'm kind of going really snail pace. It's okay, Rebecca. You'll get better at this with time. So you can see that they don't mention overpopulation in this. It is a little bit, Mark. So they talk about overpopulation a lot, and they talk about stuff like that. They don't. So that answer wouldn't be useful to a historian. So let's look on to number 3. Whoops, there we go. Which of the following is a long-term effect of the expansion of the Assyrian? Oh, why wasn't it C? The emergence of social hierarchies supported by an unequal distribution of surplus food. So let's take a look back. The emergence of social hierarchies. So they don't mention. They don't really mention surplus food or unequal distribution. They talk about destruction of land because of godly intervention, and that if you break my laws, I will break your farm. That's essentially what he's saying in a nutshell. And so it's not saying that there are so many, that I'm better than you, give me your food. It's saying you hurt me, go commit, die. So yeah, yeet the wheat, exactly. So question 3. Which of the following was, an eye for an eye. I mean, this was the Assyrian Empire, not the Babylonian, but it's a similar concept. So which of the following was an important long-term effect of the expansion of the Assyrian Empire? A, the diffusion of monotheistic religious beliefs to East Asia. B, the development of the Greek alphabet. C, the initial diffusion of advanced mathematical knowledge such as algebra and trigonometry. Or D, the establishment of Jewish diasporic communities as a result of Assyrian military conquest. So let's see what you guys have to say. Seeing C, A, D. Okay, D. C. Okay. I'm going to give it, 2-3 more seconds. D. Okay, I'm going to give you a real thing. This is probably the only question on period 1. There might be one other question on period 1. That's it. All right, so the answer to this, it might surprise you, it's D. The answer is D. Yeah, this one is a hard one. This one is a really hard one. So I saw a lot of you say C, so let's cover that one first. Algebra and trigonometry, first of all, those wouldn't be invented until the post-classical era. They were invented by the Islamic caliphates in the 900s, thousands. Yep. The context would definitely help you. So you can see why is C, the sourcing information, knowing that this was period 1, it's you can help you, it's not C because it didn't exist. B, the development of the Greek alphabet. It happened in that's kind of something you have to know. Yep, you're good, Gabrielle. I'll send it. You kind of just have to know that was created by the Phoenicians. Algebra was invented. Oh, I already sent that message. Let me just add a quick bracket. There we go. So B, it was the Phoenicians, not the Assyrians. A, the diffusion of monotheistic religious beliefs to East Asia. That's period 2. And they never reached East Asia. Exactly. Good thought, Alvaro. So the answer to that just leaves D. And that's true. They led to diasporic communities. That's correct. Wouldn't D be wrong too? No, the Assyrian Empire, they conquered the Jewish communities and the Israelites and spread them all over the place. It's more, Roman Empire-ish that this really starts going crazy, but it did happen in the Assyrian Empire. It's kind of a matter of elimination. All right, here is our next stimulus. Who's excited? 1 through 10, how excited are we? Let's get hyped. Oh yeah, let's get hyped. Meme review. Okay, subscribe to PewDiePie. So let's start. Let's look at the let us look at the sourcing information. So this is from the from the Arthashastra. It is a legal and political treatise produced for Chandragupta, a Hindu ruler of the Mauryan dynasty in India, circa 300 BCE. So we know this is the classical era. We start thinking, what are some things that really are big in the classical era? 600 to 600. Let me know. Drop it in the chat. Death. Yeah, it is Chandragupta Maurya. Think about the big things. Culture, religion starts spreading, Hinduism. We see the development of empires like the Mauryan Empire. The rise of religion, naked people. That's definitely an important part of AP World. Naked people. Yes. All right. So let's start reading. Wait, do you want me to have you guys read this or story time? Story time. Okay, cool. I'll just assume story time. So if I start reading, just let me know. All right. Marriage precedes in all other duties of life. The different kinds of marriage are the giving in marriage of a bride with a dowry, the giving in marriage of a bride in exchange for a couple of cows, the giving in marriage of a bride to a priest. Yeah, it's story times when I read it. The voluntary union of a maiden and her lover, the giving in marriage of a bride after receiving plenty of wealth from the groom's family. Of these, the first 3 are ancestral customs, are of old, and are valid upon being approved of by the father of the bride. The rest are to be sanctioned by the father and the mother. Any kind of marriage that meets the above conditions is approvable. Sons begotten by men of higher caste and women of lower caste are considered to be mixed caste. Sons begotten by men of lower caste and women of higher caste originate on account of kings violating all norms of proper behavior. So we can see it's a passage about marriage, and it's legal. It says it's political. You can see the caste system. That's definitely a big thing to know about India. So let's see what our choices are. So period 1. Compared to the regulations in the excerpt, Buddhist practices concerning gender roles in the period 600 to 600 differed in that they, A, rejected the validity of marriage as an institution, B, offered women and men the possibility of monastic life as an alternative to marriage, C, gave the bride's mother rather than the father the primary role in making marriage decisions, or D, asserted that only marriage is based on the free choice of both spouses were valid. Let's see. Seeing a lot of B. A lot of B. B, 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 B. All right. Excellent. The answer is B. So the rest, this is kind of just fact knowing. It is B. Don't worry, Rebecca. The rest, this is just kind of knowing about the women's role in Buddhism. If you know that, if you can make that connection and know that, they both offered men and women the possibility of monasticism, that's definitely something to know about Buddhism. I recommend that, knowing that. Where are we? There we are. All right. Question 5. We're just going to start chugging through these. The views expressed in the excerpt are best seen as evidence of which of the following in Mauryan society? A, the persistence of patriarchy. B, the absence of intercaste marriages. C, the social acceptance of children born out of wedlock. Or D, the ruler's lax enforcement of religious doctrine. Let's see. Looks like everyone's saying A. Free the patriarchy. Okay. A. Perfect. The answer is A. We can see in the passage, it talks about patriarchy. It's saying that the father decides who gets married. The father decides this. Kings are the ones, a high man of higher caste can marry a lower class woman, for example. That's definitely, I know when in doubt, patriarchy is definitely a pretty good continuity and stuff. So yeah. Which of the following changes to Mauryan religious policy occurred under Chandragupta's grandson, Emperor Ashoka? So Vinny's already just jumping the gun. All right. The emergence of a syncretic Indo-Greek system of religious belief. B, the secularization of the Mauryan state. C, the promotion of Buddhist teachings through edicts by the ruler. Or D, the establishment of Islam as the dominant religion. Let's see. We didn't even learn about the Mauryans. I'd say definitely look it up. It's definitely important. D is period 3. Yeah, look at that. There you go. Alvaro knows. C. The answer is C. So, remember when they yeeted women off bridges for anything? Yes. So it is C. So we can see the emergence of a syncretic Indo-Greek system of religious belief. If you know about Ashoka, you'll know that he was Buddhist. He's definitely someone that is useful to know. He does pillar edicts. He was the 3rd Mauryan emperor, I want to say, Ashoka Maurya. And so just by knowing that, even you can say C pretty confidently. D you can knock out right away. That is a distractor answer right there, because Islam does eventually come to India. It does. Period 3-4. It does. But C is really the correct answer here. So let's see. There we go. Look at that. Another passage. Period 2. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to let you guys read this one. Just drop in the chat when you guys are done reading it, and I will. Yep. This is page 8, questions 7 through 9. So then, yep, I'll let you guys read that. I'll give you, I'll say 45 seconds to read that, and then if you need more time, go for it. Oh, I never answered. Oh, I'm sorry. What was your question, Natalie? Sorry. All right, I'll just start the. Oh, cool. Mark's down. So I'll start the timer. Y'all can start reading, and I'll answer Natalie's question. Okay, everyone's done. Perfect. Were those like the 5 key relationships? The 5 key relationships are Chinese. We're talking about the caste system here. All right. So, whoa, y'all are quick. So I'll stop the timer, I guess. So someone give me a quick synopsis of what they read, so I know that you guys read it. Rebecca, you can't read. I can't send C. Oh no, they stop. I think they don't let you repeat messages. That's rough. All right. So let's see. According to the passage, Xunzi was advocating an approach to governance that most directly reflected the principles of C, Confucianism. You're all correct. So Buddhism, we can see they don't talk about Buddha. They don't talk about material goods. They don't talk about, it just doesn't match, right? Taoism, when you're looking for an answer for that's Taoism, you're going to see stuff like opposites, nature, yin and yang, stuff like that. And legalism, you're going to see basically kill everyone who breaks a law. That's basically legalism in a nutshell. So really, first of all, you can knock those out. but also Confucianism. It talks about the relationship. I see a lot of people, the relationship between people and ruler. It's one of the 5 key relationships. The ruler is a boat. People are the water. You know, it's kind of an enlightenment idea in a little bit. So number 8, there we are. Xunzi's idealized vision of Chinese society in the passage differs most strongly from the social structure of which of the following? So let's say A, Roman society in the, actually, I'll let you guys read the answers. I'll, give you a chance to, answer it on your own. So I'll just wait. B, okay. D. A. Okay, so I see that we're kind of all over the place here. We see D, 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 A. Okay, the answer is B. So let's start thinking about why is it B. So this is a hard one. This one took me a little while when I was doing these the other night. So Roman Hindu society. Well, let's look at what is he talking about. His ask a question, and I'll go over it. I definitely have worked with that a lot. So Hindu society. Basically, the Hindus had the caste system. They had a very strict social system. You were born into a caste. There was no movement. You weren't going from here to there. You were an untouchable. That was your life. You were crappy in your last life. Now you're an untouchable. Whereas the rest of these, they at least had some form of social mobility. Chinese society, Confucianism is technically meritocratic in a way. Not exactly. It's not perfect, but it's something. And yeah, most strongly, exactly. You got to start reading. You got to read the questions. So now the rest of those have some form of social mobility. And yeah, Mongols were more so equal with gender. So yeah, ideas similar. Wait, there you go. Ideas similar to those expressed in the passage may have directly contributed to the development of which of the following in later Chinese imperial history? So take a guess. B. Okay. Okay, I see a lot of you saying B. Just is the stream okay for everyone? I just want to make sure. I see a lot of people kind of saying there's lags. There's a little lag. Okay, I know my Wi-Fi is not great, but as long as you guys can see and hear me, hello out there. So C, D, B. I see a lot of people are knocking out A, so that's good. Okay, sorry about that, Sammy. Okay, so the answer to this is D. So I know I saw a lot of you saying B, and it's a distractor. You guys fell for a distractor answer there. So let's look at B first. The expectation that emperors must be judged by a different set of ethical standards. Well, if we look at the passage, it says that the ruler has to keep up with the society. Whoa, excuse me. It states that the ruler has to keep up with society. There is no... See, Alvaro, if you didn't read the last answer is to read all of the answers because D is the best answer. And it states that the ruler has to stick up with society. It has the same expectations. They're judged by the same standards everyone else is. They're people too. And so the only other really kind of, Confucianist idea was D, capable bureaucrats on the basis of educational achievement. So with B, it just doesn't fit. It's the opposite of what they say. So yeah. Oh, sorry. So the capable bureaucrats one. So let's keep going. Questions 10 to 12. Okay, this is a very good one. So this is a chart. So I'm going to give you maybe 30-ish seconds, so-and-so to check out this chart. Think about, what it is. Think about, and then I know you can see number 10. So start thinking about it. Okay. So just tell me when you want me to move on to the question. Everyone here is a plague. Exactly. Move on. Okay. I see a lot of you saying the Black Plague for number 10. Okay, so let us start thinking about number 10. Which of the following best explains the overall demographic trend shown in the chart? So first, what is the demographic trend shown? Just let me know. What can you see? Is population going up, down, left, right, northeast, southeast? You know. All right, down, death, leaving. So you guys are a lot of you saying A. That is wrong. A is wrong. For a few questions, can you give us a minute to read and then tell us the answer? I want to practice timing. Yeah, sure. I can definitely do that. So the answer is D. The answer is D. Oh, this is fun. It's like a game show. All right. So A. I saw most of you guys immediately say A. So I want someone to tell me, why is A wrong? What can you see in there that is not consistent with the Black Plague? Yep. It's in the 1200s, 1300s, 1400s. It's a time period. So if you hadn't read the sourcing information, you probably, and I probably, would have said the spread of the bubonic plague. So it's really important to say that. So, and that's another example of a distractor. Jackie, you don't need to know really dates. You just need to know here, I'll zoom in. You just kind of need to know the general order of things, I guess you could say. So yeah. We're going to finish up this one. I'm going to give you the next 1 to 2 just to do on your own. So here's 11. Just let me know and I can go over that one quickly. And then we're going to spend the last 15 minutes going through these questions. And then if you guys really want to. Oh, sorry, Rebecca. Why was it D? Okay, it was D because, let's look. Let's go through these answers one by one. So A, the spread of the bubonic plague by Mongol invasions. So that, we already covered. It happened not in the time period. B, migrations to Christian population centers in the Mediterranean. It wouldn't have caused an entire destruction of it. C, forced migration of populations by the Roman government. They had already happened at this point. The Roman government was crushing. The 400, 500s, 476, Roman Empire, snapped. Actually, yeah, perfectly balanced. Exactly, yeah. So D is really the answer. So you want to know that 400 to 500 is what's causing it, the fall of Rome. What's causing the fall of Rome? D, invasions by Germanic and Central Asian peoples. When does the actual fiveable start? We are in actual fiveable, but the stream starts at 8. So I'll still be live going through these questions if you guys want. But yeah, for all you fiveable members out there, there will be a review stream period 1 through 3. So I'm going to give you a minute to do, actually, I'll give you some time to do number 11. I'd go live every single day if Amanda would let me, man. All right. So 11, I'm seeing A. You guys can, just keep dropping your answers. Coup d'etat, exactly. We're going to, everyone. Amanda is the woman who usually does the real fiveable slides. So, all right. I'm seeing A and C are the 2 ones that I'm seeing. Yeah, email campaign. Let's go. So, which of the following best describes the Roman Empire response to the trend? Yep, Tony, there will be a replay. Response to the trend shown in the chart. So A, shifting power and resources to the east, eventually resulting in the creation of the Byzantine Empire. B, sponsoring the further development of commercial infrastructure, particularly roads. C, adopting Christianity as the official religion of the Roman Empire under the Emperor Constantine, or building an elaborate system of fortifications such as Hadrian's Wall. So the answer to this one is A. I saw most of you guys said that, so nice job. I'm taking AP Chem, AP Seminar, and AP Macro this year. So that is A. So let's look at B, C, and D and see why are they wrong. So B, sponsoring the further development of commercial infrastructure, particularly roads. It wasn't really their response when they started, they started doing the answer. They started taking resources and shifting them to the east because they were getting, pummeled from the north, from the west. They were just getting, destroyed. And also, I'll look up the date, but the Edict of Nantes, I think, was in 313. So, oh, not the Edict of Nantes, the Edict of Milan. Whoopsies, was in 313. Yep. So the Edict of Milan made Christianity legal under Constantine. That was in 313. So it was, Hadrian's Wall was built in like the hundreds. Those two aren't responses. So B and C, I mean C and D, crossed out. Hadrian's Wall is just I think a giant wall. I never really learned it. So A, shifting power to the east. That's just something you should know, that Constantine, goes to Constantinople and it's like, new capital. And then the Roman Empire is like, all right, let's get all our resources. Go, go, go. So yeah. I will give you guys this one after 12, and then we will go over these questions quickly. And then just let me know, do you want me to stay for more than an hour? Because I will. It's just that I know a lot of people are probably going to leave if they're yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I will go through as many. Yeah. So I can only go up to 2 hours though. But then you can hit me up on Discord. I'd be happy to go through some with you. So let's see. Which of the following emerged in Western Europe after 500 CE as a large part reaction to the changes illustrated in the chart? So B. Let's see. All right, so I see B and D are the main dominant answers here. B is the clear answer. Okay. What about D? All right. So B and D, let's say we've knocked it out. A and C are gone. We know that they're wrong. Okay. We've knocked them out. Yeah. Good job, everyone. So the answer is B. So we see the feudal system, like Robin just said, is in period 3, and it binds the peasants to the land as a development of feudal society. Whereas D, first of all, it didn't. Yeah, it was also in Japan, but they're asking about Europe here, so it's not really relevant. So D, self-governing guilds, first of all, like things like the Hanseatic League were in Eastern Europe. And also they didn't emerge until like 1000-ish, I want to say. So it's kind of early for guilds. So I am going to spend the next 10 minutes going through the answers to those questions that you guys asked me. And then afterwards, if you guys, Northeastern Europe, I can pull up a map actually. Here, I'll do that. Just flex with my mechanical keyboard. Here we go. So I will quickly switch my screen over. Real quick. Share screen. Here, I'll just my entire screen. So there's my screen. Hello, everyone. This is a map of the Hanseatic League. You can see Northern Europe. Not much of Western Europe, though. Most of stuff's going on in Eastern Europe. And Western Europe, really, if you think about it, like let's look at Western Europe. Or Europe, actually. This is Europe right here. I'll zoom in a little. There we go. This is Europe. This is the Hanseatic League. This is Western Europe. So it wasn't the biggest thing. It was there, but it wasn't, huge. So let's start going through these questions. Chugging through. Drop any questions you have. Are the multiple choice questions mostly reading between the lines or using outside knowledge? Both. Reading between the lines is definitely some of them, knowing what they're talking about. And then you use your knowledge of the topic to answer that question. So if they're asking a question, they were talking about how China, if you didn't know anything about Confucianism, you wouldn't know that. But also, if you didn't know the tenets of Confucianism, you wouldn't even be able to understand the rest of the answers. So yeah, it's kind of a mix. How do you determine which ones are distractors? Practice. You'll get almost like a sixth sense for it. You'll see, and by reading the source information and understanding the documents well, you will be able to effectively see, oh, this is clearly wrong. They don't talk about this, or it's out of the time period, or different area, something like that, or wrong. It's just wrong. So yeah. How did you break up the textbook in order to finish reading and have an understanding of the text in time for the exam? We covered in my class, I don't have my textbook anymore, but okay. I know there might be some people who are in the AP World class at my school here, shout out. But basically, we covered a chapter a week. So we had a 36 chapter book. We covered one chapter a week. We did period 1 as our summer work, and then period 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Period 2 was probably like through October, then October to December, period 3. January to mid-February, period 4. Mid-February to March was period 5. and March to the test was period 6. And we took a mock exam on April 20th of this year. So, do you have any tips on note-taking? I've never been big on note-taking, I'll be honest. I'd recommend writing down what you need. Don't write down every little thing. Write down the quick, big things that you are going to know. Don't think that don't think, oh, I got to use Cornell notes because Cornell notes are the best thing in the world, or, Cornell notes are nice, but if they don't work for you, take notes on what you want to take notes on. I'm not okay. I want to make sure because I think there might be a few teachers in here. Take notes, study. All right. Are the Mongols an important part of AP World History? Yes. Period. Yes. How important is vocab? It's important in terms of maybe knowing evidence, knowing what things are. They're not going to explain things to you on the exam. They're not going to say Confucianism was whatever, unless wow, Amanda, in both streams, you're just straight up, hijacking, whoosh, insulting. So, vocab's important. Yeah, but they're never going to ask you, what does blank mean? Hey Dylan, do you think the Mongols were guilty for crimes against humanity? No, because they weren't invented yet. The Geneva Convention was in the 40s. Logic. So, yeah. Will there ever be a stimulus that doesn't relate to the question? No, they specifically designed the questions to be related to the stimulus. They're never going to give you a document on Confucianism and then ask. They could ask, for example, a question about period 4 China and then say, which of these developments in the 19th century best, shows a change from what described in the document, but it's always going to have something to do with it. The document's always going to be part of it. All right. Where should we be around this time in terms of time period? Period 3-4-ish, probably. I know some people who are at period 5. Period 2, I'd say, speed up a little bit. Period 4, though. Period 3-4. Period 3, yeah, I see, But if your teacher knows what she's doing, you should be fine. I have the AP World History workbook. Does the question in it have related questions to the exam, or is it just for practice? I couldn't answer you. I've never used the workbook. So if you want, you can ask me that personally and send me pictures, but yeah. Where can you find practice questions? So, practice questions, I found them always through the College Board website. The practice test that we just did, that's public. That's not mine. So what you can do is, look at those. Look at, go to the College Board website, review books. There's a lot online too, I think. Most of the practice we did in class, definitely your tests and quizzes, go over them, look at them a couple times. All right. You said to understand the topic, but I honestly find myself losing interest easily. Is there a way to make it more interesting, or should I keep trying to understand it? Make it interesting for yourself. History is supposed to be fun. I mean, it's not supposed to be monotonously. It's supposed to be interesting. It's supposed to be war and peace and culture and interaction and social structures and the toppling of social structures. And it's incredible. And so if you like to learn, think about what you like to learn about and connect that to history. There's not a single thing that doesn't have a history. All right. Yeah, I know time's running out. You guys can leave once you want. So, all right. Theoretical situation. Awesome. You've stumbled upon a question that you know will take a long time, but are confident that you'll eventually remember it. You have other questions, but are not sure about whether you'll be able to figure them out. Do you spend the time on the one question or guess on all of them, assuming there's not enough time to thoroughly go through each question? See, Zachary. So, that's interesting. Depends on how quickly you remember it. I would say think about it for 10, 15 seconds. If you can't remember it, circle it, move on, and then come back later. All right. Do you read the book most of the time, or do you use another source? I use videos, 100%. Videos. That's just how I learn. How important is handwriting? I can actually show you. This is going to be a great flex. I have my AP answers right here. This was my AP essay that I'm holding in my hand. So if we If I won't, trust me. Ugh. This is my handwriting. I know it's backwards, but like it's not focused at it. But like my handwriting's trash. So you can see also it's okay if you cross things out. It's okay if you scribble. So yeah, handwriting's not super ultra important. But I mean, it should be legible. Don't yeah. You have to use pen on the AP exam. Where can we find practice questions? I've answered this question a couple of times, so you can Which would be more important for period 3, China and its dynasties or the spread of Islam? Oof, they're both really important. If you had to cut one out, I mean, Islam is really important, but so is China. I can't answer that question. I'll be honest. Drew, that's dumb. Your teacher should love you. Should make you use pen. All right. Do the people advising the test tell you how much time we have left? No, they don't. They tell you end time, stopping time, and there's usually a clock in the room. So, I mean, you can kind of gauge. But also, don't stress about the time. If you spend all your time staring at the clock, you're not going to answer any of the questions. So, yeah. Do the questions go in chronological order? Yes, they do. They go 1 to 5. Bring a watch. Make sure it doesn't beep. If your watch beeps, your entire room will be voided. So, would you agree with the method to go through the questions and answer the ones you know, and then skip the ones you don't and go back? I'd say spend at least a couple seconds thinking about it. I mean, skip it if you really don't know it, but if it vibrates, I wouldn't risk it. I really wouldn't risk it. Even I didn't bring my phone to school that day. Like, that's how dedicated I was. I didn't bring my phone. So I'd say go through everyone, at least think about it, take a guess. Definitely take a guess and circle the number, because if time runs out and you're still working on your third not known out of 5, you're not going to have an answer. So at least put something down. Would you recommend knowing certain time spans rather than specific dates? Yeah, no, time spans, orders, stuff like that. Don't, there are a couple dates they might want to know: 1776, 1492, 476. They're nice, but I'd say know the general vicinity of things. Know that the Great Schism was around, 1000, 1100-ish, but you don't need to know 1054. What if we get 20s and 30s on the quiz? 20 and 30% or 20 or 30 out of 55? All right. Where can you find review? I'm not doing the period 1 to 3 review. Unfortunately, I really would love to. I know Amanda left already, so, if you're still here, can I host it? Yeah, email campaign. Let's go. Everyone, email Amanda. No, don't actually. Do if you want, but no. Will each of the LEQ options ask for a different skill? No, it's the same skill, actually. It will be causation, 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 comparison, 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 so on and so forth. Could you put your information down? Sure. Let me just copy that from the slideshow, and I can. So here is my Discord. Feel free to answer me. Text me on Discord. I am happy to answer. Here is my Instagram. And here is my Reddit. So, hit me up, add me. Is it bad that I passed out before the stream? Yes, I am ashamed and I hate myself. Thanks, Mickey. Proud of you. You keep mentioning times. Do we or do we not? No, you don't. You don't need to know dates. I feel kind of bad for saying the dates. They're good to know, don't say it, think, oh my God, I know this date. That's a bad thing. Knowing Edict of Milan, 313, awesome. But you should know Edict of Milan, period 2, Roman Empire. Know the connections between things. How would you recommend we study? How do you study? Did you know you would get a 5? Okay, so I got a 5 on my mock. I got actually a 119 out of 130. It was the majorist flex. So, I thought I was going to get a 4, because what happened was and for those of you who had the Columbian Exchange already, you'll know this was a major rip. My essay was on the effects of the Columbian Exchange, which is an incredibly easy essay. I proceeded to write perfect essay, but my one problem was that I said that it led to an increase in population, which just... exactly. So I was terrified. And so, but I, snatched a 5. So it led to population decrease. Yeah. 90% of the population died And the best part is that was my second paragraph, dying. So good job, Dylan. Also, I just got all of you. So what videos do you use? I use Mr. Lassiter, Crash Course, Get a 5. They're all in. If you click the AP World Ultimate Review Packet, I have a list of just resources. So any tips for LEQ? Know the rubric, figure out your own format, and that's about it. I mean, do practice writing them and scoring them and seeing what you're bad at, what you're not good at. Study that. Don't think, oh, I'm great at contextualization, so I should only be doing contextualization. It's the opposite. All right. So, is your Insta the one with don't focus on the fate? Yes, it is. I think so. Pretty sure. All right. So, drop any other questions you have. The rest of these are just how do you study? I say use your own way. So, yeah. Are there any other things that you guys want me to go over? Because, I mean, I'd be willing to go over some more of the multiple choice, but, I think we kind of have it covered at this point. We've kind of covered everything we can. So is there anything, seriously, drop a question. Did you start off good in the beginning or did you go? I was good, but I wasn't great. Like I was getting, 70s, 80s on 10-question quizzes. I was getting the LEQ I was pretty good at from the start. I know my first one I got like a 5 or a 6 on, but that was also because it was typed. And so basically I really didn't like world history in the first couple of months. I hated it actually, which, period 3 is kind of the turning point. Turning point. So I loved the class by January. It was my favorite thing. I looked forward to going into it every day, and I don't even know how I hated it. But oh, good. Hashtag Dylan's a liar. Now it's going to ruin my presidential campaign 20 years from now. So am I doing A push this year? Pre-A push. But yeah, I'm really behind. How can I catch up? Just chug through the material, man. I know it sounds cliche, but just keep going. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Because if so, if not, I'm going to hop onto the other stream and start, anyone in Fiveable who hasn't gone there, start spamming it, asking her to, So, any last minute questions? Because if not, I'm going to go. B. Let's see. How sleep do I need to function? I get like 4 hours of sleep. The next stream, it's members only, so people who paid for Fiveable. I really feel bad about it, but I know it's not my decision. I would have it for free. I'm at the mercy of Amanda, who, if I was hosting these, I still wouldn't have a choice, but it is all Amanda's fault. Don't, that's not me. I don't even get paid. So, yeah, that's kind of, last minute, quick, I'll go for another 2 minutes, maybe. B, all right, looks like you guys are, I get volunteer hours, probably, leadership hours, but I don't get money. So yeah, I'm going, ooh, I got another question. Never mind. All right. If you use the AP World Strayer textbook, did you read it daily? Did I read it daily? I read it, our teacher assigned homework weekly. So, and also I read Stearns, but, it was, a weekly homework. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm not a scammer. I swear. I will. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Everyone with Discord, hop onto Discord. I will do a live review of period 1 through 3 straight through for free. Deadass, hop into a voice chat. Everyone, wait. Hop into the AP World server if you want to, and then we can, All right. It looks like no one's really going to actually do it, so never mind. I was saying right now, but no, we don't have to do it. 1 sec. What is the most important thing to take away from this course? Take away the fact that history is, it's amazing. I mean, it's the interaction of societies. It's the foundation of humanity. is as a whole. It's the biggest thing around us. It is what controls our life. So, I mean, yeah, it's in trends and, a 5. What do I want to be? I want to go into data science and economics. So, yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. Yeah, I think so. So, I will, if I get enough people to get onto Discord, I will definitely do it. Get onto the Discord AP server or text me, and I will definitely. I mean, there are 4 or 5 people, so if we get a couple more, I'll probably, yeah. It's on the AP World Discord, so I will get you an invite real quick. I can't get an invite real quick. All right. Yeah, if you Google just AP World Discord, let's see. Let's see. Is this it? Try this link. Wait, no. Try this link. Here it is. All right, here is the link. If you have Discord, it should work. If you don't have Discord, then it's not gonna, But yeah, hop into the server. Let me just say. So yeah, hop into there. I will be doing a review of period 1 through 3 live. Don't tell Amanda I'm doing this. She'd murder me. So yeah. I think I'm gonna call it a night for there. All right, everyone. All right, looks like it's over. All right, I will see you guys probably in a month. I'll try to talk to Amanda about being live more, but see you. Oh God, there comes the chat. All right, yeah. All right, I sent you the link. There we go. Here's the link. There it is. I already sent this message. Here's the message. There's the link. So use that link, hop onto the Discord, and I will be there. So have a good night, everyone.